Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to MercedesBenz Stadium in the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Countdown to Kickoff. We are glad to be back home as Atlanta United begins this next phase of the MLS schedule tonight against Nashville, the second time these clubs have met this year. Jason, it's lots changed, I guess, in the span of a month since last we saw you and Atlanta United was knocked out of the MLS's back tournament by Columbus. Interim manager, couple new players, and I think a lot of mystery and excitement about the way that Atlanta United is going to attack this next phase of the schedule.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this lineup tonight. We're going to make you wait just a little bit for it. We're all really excited to see it. Stephen Glass's first Major League Soccer game in charge. I've had the chance to see him with Atlanta United too. He's going to be upping the tempo, upping the intensity a little bit than we saw in the tournament in Orlando. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
And this is one of those cases where we actually have not seen the lineup yet either, so We're just as anxious as you are. But you mentioned Glassy, Stephen Glass, who was the manager of Atlanta United 2 of USL Championship. He steps up now as the interim manager of the first team. This will be, as Jason said, his first career MLS match as manager tonight. Earlier this week, Glassy took some questions from the media about how he feels going into this match tonight.
Are you planning to train at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at all this week? I don't know if that's even feasible with everything that's going on.
Yeah, we've been there this week already. So
okay.
the players could get a feel of it. That we won't be there tomorrow, but they've had a feel of it. They can feel what it's like in an empty stadium. But I think one of the great things is the business side of the club has set up and been probably forward in the respect of there's crowd noise that can be fed in there. And the response from the players when they hear the fans' noise is real fan noise that's there as well. It's not some made-up stuff. It's actual Atlanta fan noise. So the players' response to that is very good. They feel like there is that back in there, and hopefully that will help the group as well. I'm sure it will. The response in training was great.
Hey, Glassy, good to see you again. Nashville has played twice, and you mentioned you haven't been able to play a preseason friendly. Does that concern you at all, that your opponent kind of has a little bit of a head start on you?
Not really. I think it is the big potential downfall that we've got, that they've got something over us in terms of they've got some match practice. They've had to travel twice to Dallas on the flip side of that, and the third time they travelled to Atlanta against a team that they don't know how we're going to set up. I think we know that Nashville are a good team. They're tough to play against. They're hard to beat. I think we know how they're going to play. Now, they might spring a surprise, but I think we've got a good handle on how we feel that they'll approach the game. And we are pretty much an unknown quantity for them. So I think that's the biggest, to me, that's the biggest tool that nobody really knows how our group's going to play. And that's been going to be pretty valuable, I think, because the way it's going to come out, I think it's going to suit our players, and it's difficult to plan when you don't know what you're playing against. And we've had it sometimes with the twos. You would go away against a really experienced team, and we would kind of think we know how they're going to play, and they find it difficult to plan when they don't know. So the first weekend is the best opportunity we've got to make it a level playing field as possible, and hopefully the group of players that we've got can produce.
All right, well, that was Stephen Glass from Thursday, a virtual news conference that he did with the media, which is why you all now know what my home office looks like. I'm excited for Glassy. I think it's a great opportunity for him. And the one thing that he's talked a lot about is kind of opening the lines of communication with his players. And there seems to be a real sense of positivity around the team right now. We've heard it from the players. I think we heard it from Stephen as well on Thursday. It feels like those lines of communications, are very much open right now.
Yeah, anytime you have a managerial change, look, something went wrong, and we know from what we saw in Orlando, things weren't where Atlanta United expects them to be. So there's pressure on the new person in charge, and Stephen Glass is a big opportunity for him in Major League Soccer. There's pressure on the players as well, because you don't know what's coming next, and players have to prove that they are worth sticking around at this point. So there's going to be an increased intensity from everyone with the Atlanta United crest on because of the changes we've seen.
Glassy also had some good news in that media session Thursday, and it comes in the form of the injury report brought to you by Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. It's a clean injury report with one exception, and since we last spoke with you last month, Joseph Martinez has been placed on the season-ending injury list. Jason, that doesn't mean he's had a setback in his rehab from the torn ACL, but Atlanta United needed the roster spot, so Joseph continues to work, but he's not going to play the rest of this season.
Yeah, you get far enough along in the recovery that you can tell it's very unlikely you're going to see him at all in 2020, even with kind of the unknown of when the season's actually going to end. And you have to clear a roster spot. You have to open up the possibility to add someone, and Atlanta United's done that.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing Joseph again. That is the injury report brought to you by Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Joseph even got the camera when the team came here to train this week. Was that Jim Blackburn's camera? I'm not quite sure. I guess we'll find out. All right, Tools to the Match brought to you by the Home Depot. Now, Nashville has played twice since the MLS's Back tournament has ended. Glassy talked about it. We have a pretty good idea of what Nashville is all about, and they have been, Jason, very, very dangerous on counters.
Yeah, they do it a couple different ways. Sometimes they do step up and press a little bit higher, but they will get out on the counter and transition from defense to offense very quickly. It's obvious Gary Smith has kind of set a baseline of how he wants his team to play. They're not going to risk a ton, but they will take shots from distance, as you've seen so far in this video. But they will transition into that attack very quickly. You have players like Randall Leal with great speed, great on the dribble. You have Hani Mukhtar, who's really nice in tight spaces and can create opportunities. And you have Dominic Badji up top, who has a lot of speed and can get out on the run. David Akam, if he starts or comes off the bench, he becomes a very dangerous player, as Dallas found out late.
Yeah, now that was the goal, the only goal they have scored in their first two matches since their season restarted. That was a week ago Wednesday, and that gave them the 1-0 victory, the goal they got in the 86th minute. There's David Akam. I didn't notice until seeing that replay. He actually kind of nutmegged the man to score that goal. But here again, after a long weather delay on Sunday, Nashville only had 36% possession in this match, Jason, and yet they still had 21 shots.
Yeah, they changed their style up a little bit from the Wednesday game to the Sunday. They stepped up and pressed a little bit higher, got more numbers forward, made things a little more uncomfortable for Dallas to build up the play. And you saw in the first half, Dallas was giving the ball away a lot of times in their final third, and Nashville has taken the opportunities here to make Jimmy Maurer scramble. That's an incredible save from Jimmy Maurer, the Atlanta native, on Randall Leal. Nashville is so good at quick transitions. You see it here. It's just a turnover, immediately play it into the final third, and get a chance on goal.
So these are things that Atlanta United, they're going to have to be careful tonight. I think Atlanta United, like we've been talking about all week, Jason, they want to go forward. They want to be on the front foot. They want to attack. But they've got to be switched on defensively in case there's a turnover to eliminate those transition opportunities, right?
They've got to be switched on defensively when the transition opportunities happen, and even the attackers are going to have to make quick decisions on, do I immediately step and pressure now, or do I bounce back and recover and drop? They can't be caught in those moments of indecision that we saw pop up in Orlando.
All right, let's talk about the players to watch, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. You brought up Randall Leal for Nashville, and Atlanta United is going to try to exploit their speed advantage as well. So let's talk about two of the faster players on the pitch. And we're going to start on the Atlanta United side, Pity Martinez.
Pity Martinez has been really good this season. When you look at the deeper numbers on him, he is creating 6 shot opportunities for himself or for others in every 90 minutes he plays. That's among the leaders in Major League Soccer. Pity has looked very fresh this season. Thought he had a great match against the Red Bulls in the MLS's Back tournament, and really couldn't get the combinations with his teammates after that. Tonight, with a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of a change to the way this team is set up, I expect a lot of freedom for Pity Martinez, and I expect him to have the opportunity to go find the game. If you saw the video that Atlanta United put out this week, Pity feels like he's in a good mood. He's in a good frame of mind. He's really kind of feeling it with this group, taking on a little bit of the leadership as well.
Yeah, and I think you saw some of it there in that video from the training session that the club had here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Wednesday and Thursday. Quick thought about Randall Leal of Nashville. He's someone that I think Atlanta United's really going to have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, dangerous young player from Costa Rica, Randall Leal. Very quick on the dribble. He likes to go left to right a lot of times on the dribble, cuts across the top of the 18, and will fire off long-distance shots. He had one of the greatest goals in CONCACAF last year with his former club, Saprissa. Look for him to shoot from distance. Brad Gazan will have to be switched on for those opportunities.
All right, let's take a look at this lineup. This is the first time we're seeing it, too, so prepare to be surprised. It's brought to you by Chick-fil-A, and here's how Atlanta United lines up for this match against Nashville tonight here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And you have, I'm just going to go from top to bottom, Brooks Lennon, who has played all 450 minutes in the regular season this year for Atlanta United. He stays in. They're going to try Adam John at that striker spot again. Do you see Barco's name on there? I do not.
Nope. Do not.
So what do you think?
Don't know. That's a good question. Look, this is Stephen Glass's opportunity to catch everybody by surprise. Don't see Miles Robinson on there either, which is another one that will catch you by surprise. But it looks like a back four with George Bello on the left, Anton Walks and Fernando Meza in the middle, Franco Escobar on the right. Three in the midfield with Eric Remedi, Emerson Hindman, Mateos Josetu. Pity Martinez, I would assume, is on the left. Brooks Lennon on the right. Adam John up top. A 4-3-3 is kind of where I was leaning that this would settle into. I'm excited to see how that midfield trio, because I think they're critical tonight against that transition. Remedi, Hindman, Josetu have to create opportunities, but they have to be defensively sound as well.
And by the time we're on the radio on 92.9 The Game, and by the time the Fox Sports Southeast guys come on at 6:30 Eastern Time, they may have more information. We may have more information on some of those missing names in the lineup. Don't know right now. I guess we'll find out hopefully by the time that we meet you on the radio tonight. Now, a couple notes. We're going to be back on right after the match here on Atlanta United's Facebook page for a post-game report, hopefully after a victory. And Wednesday night, about an hour before kickoff, which is supposed to be 8 p.m. down in Miami, we will be back with another edition for the Countdown to Kickoff today, brought to you by Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. We miss you. It's not the same without you here. I will say that. We do miss you, but we look forward to seeing you again really soon, and I hope you're looking forward to watching tonight's match. Enjoy, and we'll see you after the game.